Hey guys, I'm so excited that you've joined us for another video Christmas Advent devotional. Let's jump right into day 3. Day 3, the temple. Well, after John the Baptist explained to his disciples who Jesus was, they immediately left him and began to follow Jesus. And Jesus wasted no time. Along with those disciples, he gathered others as well to journey with him and show them what God was like. He knew that what he was about to embark on was not just about coming into the darkness of the world, but about light overcoming the darkness in the human heart. So he set out with his disciples to shine his light on that darkness. Now, the human heart, it was blind and it was in darkness. And because it was blind, only God's light could expose what was in it. God, who was light and life, had now come to his creation in Jesus, his light in our darkness. But the journey begins as he descends into humanity to expose the darkness of their hearts. So, as he goes into the world, and with each person he meets, we find that his passion to descend further into the darkness is to expose the human heart. So where does he go first? Well, Jesus goes first to the temple. There he sees the truth of what the human heart truly worshiped. Quickly he finds that the temple was really not for God, but they had built it for themselves. They had turned the light of God into a religion and the house of God into a business. They had all these rituals and rites going on, and they used them as a way to justify themselves before God and elevate themselves between each other. Jesus saw this and was so upset that he walked into that temple and he turned over all the tables and threw out the money changers and threw their money purses out with them. He saw how the inner heart of man began to play out in the real world and how it made a mockery of God's temple. The religious people saw this and they were so upset because they saw Jesus making a mockery of their temple. But Jesus was upset because they had made their temple a mockery unto God. The temple Jesus was talking about was their hearts. For Jesus knew that the place that God dwelt truly was the heart. But the religious leaders and the people around them had reduced God down to a building, down to a temple. Jesus' obstruction of all of their religious rituals during that time made those leaders so very angry, and he interrupted their prayers. And for years they had longed for God to dwell in their building. But because Jesus did this, they came out of their offices and they confronted him. But they had failed to see that before them, in the temple built for God, and in the temple where they prayed for God's presence to dwell, was God. They didn't even see him. But Jesus knew the darkness of their heart. And though he spoke to them about rebuilding a new kind of temple, one where God would dwell forever, they had no understanding of what he was talking about. And because he did what he did, they began to plot to kill Jesus. Jesus, seeing this, left their presence in the temple. You see, Christmas is about Jesus coming to confront the parts of our hearts that mock God. He is moving from the light of his Father, from the light of the Trinity, into the darkness of this world as the story is unfolding. And he's moving even further into the deepest, darkest, distant places of our hearts. Jesus longs to move our thinking. Is God being distant? Is God being far off, to an understanding that God is among us? Well, tune in next time as we meet a man who longs to seek to understand how God could make our hearts his temple. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.